Good moving.
Yeah.
Good sign.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular meeting of Mayor and Council of the Borough of Glassboro for March 22nd, 2022 to order. Karen, could you please read the opening statement?
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, I hereby announce that adequate notice of this meeting, as required by said act, has been provided by adopting a schedule of regular meetings for the year 2022, which schedule was posted on the Borough Hall Bulletin Board, as well as the Borough website, and forwarded to both the South Jersey Times and the Sentinel of Gloucester County, filed with the Borough Clerk on January 7th, 2022.
Thank you. Can we all rise and salute the flag, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Karen, roll call, please.
Mayor Wallace.
Here.
Mr. Costabone.
Present.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Here.
Mr. Viola.
Here.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Here.
Mrs. Spence.
Here.
Mr. Melandro.
Here.
Mr. Scafidi.
Here.
And Mr. Brunemer.
Here. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to our borough solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a number of public hearings this evening. The first being a public hearing on ordinance number 22-07. Ordinance amending chapter 351, Parks and Recreation Areas, section 7, fee schedule for use of park and recreation facilities. If council moves for the public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I move the public portion be closed and the ordinance adopted as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costabone.
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Four.
Mr. Viola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Four.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, Mayor, we have ordinance 22-08. Ordinance amending bond ordinance 20-05 of the Borough of Glassboro in the County of Gloucester, New Jersey. Council moves for the public portion.
Move the public portion be open.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costabone.
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Four.
Mr. Viola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Four.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, Mayor, we have 22-09, an ordinance amending chapter 264, fire safety fees in the Borough of Glassboro. Again, council moves for public portion.
I'm done. Somebody do it.
Move the public portion of this ordinance.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costabone.
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro.
Four.
Mr. Viola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Four.
Ms. Miller.
Four.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next, Mayor, we have ordinance 22-10, an ordinance amending chapter 107, development regulations and zoning, section 107-15, fees, subsections A, B, and C of the Code Book of the Borough of Glassboro. Council moves for public portion.
I need to make a public, open to the public portion, please.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr.
Yes.
Costabone. Mr. D'Alessandro.
Four.
Mr. Viola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller.
Four.
Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And finally, ordinance 22-11, an ordinance amending chapter 65, Historic Preservation Commission of the Code Book of the Borough of Glassboro. Council so moves for public portion.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to address this proposed ordinance.
Seeing none, I make a motion to close the public portion and adopt the ordinance as written.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Considine.
Yes.
Mr. Delisandro.
Four.
Mr. Fiola.
Four.
Mr. Halter.
Yes.
Ms. Miller. Mrs. Spence.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting for February 22nd, 2022, as well as the closed executive session of February 22nd, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We have no communications, so I'll move to committee reports and start with our council president, Considine.
Thank you, Mayor, but I have nothing to report at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Delisandro?
I have nothing this time.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Fiola?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just like to note that I'm in receipt from our CFO, Karen Passione, of the various budget reports for the month of, Karen, that's February, thank you. They include bank balance, current budget report, various revenue reports, and the utility budget and revenue report. Exhaustive and thorough, and I thank her for that, and that's all I have.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilman Halter?
Hey, good evening, Mr. Mayor, thank you. Doing some preliminary reports for upgrading some of our water lines in town, and nothing else out of the ordinary besides that right now.
Thank you very much, sir. Councilwoman Miller?
Good evening. The only thing I have to report is that Park and Recreation Track and Field is currently underway. T-ball is underway, as well as the soccer. Our seniors are very active. They're planning a trip this year to New Orleans. So if anyone's 60 and over, or their families would like to attend, just sign up with, out at the senior center. And also, Park and Rec has moved to a new system where you can do all of your registration for events online. And that's all I have to report.
Thank you very much. And Councilwoman Spence?
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything this evening.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor, just one more thing, if you will.
Yes, sir.
Upcoming in next month in May, or month and a week or whatever it is, the fire department's going to be hosting a 125th celebration downtown here in Glassboro. It's their 125th anniversary of incorporation, which is actually the 126th year, but due to COVID, we're going to be celebrating this year. So keep that on your schedule. There'll be activities for the kids and parades and so on and so forth. It'll be Saturday, May 14th. I'll make further announcements into April's meetings as well.
Thank you very much. Okay, moving on, we have no unfinished business. Karen, any new business, please?
Yes, Mayor, I have a request for a curb waiver for 406 Hamilton Road.
Need a motion for that, is that correct?
That's correct.
Second, I believe there was a motion.
Do we have a motion? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Motion carries.
And I have one more item, Mayor. I need approval for, to go out to bid for copper tube for water services, and this is obviously for our water and sewer department.
Motion approved to go out for bid for water services.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll ask for our engineer's report, please, Mark.
Yes, good evening. Update, they are making quite a bit of progress over at the Camelot townhouses. They got all 4 sections going, ponds are all in place, escrows are in place, so yeah, they're going to town there, trying to get the water main tested and get all the storm pipes in. They're working on the basins, and that's proceeding nicely there. Bonesaw Brewery, they did get the components in they needed, so they got their TCO, so they're starting to use the storage in the back. I'll defer to the code office, but I don't think the second floor is quite done. They're made basically improved the upstairs that they always had up there into a meeting room and things along those lines. So I think that's still progressing, so they're getting close on that. Charles III, we did get the bids come in, and unfortunately COVID, the prices came in a little bit high, but working with Karen and Ed, presenting that to you at the work session, I think in 2 weeks to go over that as far as proceed with authorizing that. High Street Townhouses is still underway. They're doing a lot of townhouses. We'll see a lot of wood going up in the next couple of months there for those. Lincoln Housing Project on L Street is likewise a lot of houses moving, but unfortunately, as I reported last month, they're still having problems getting the curb stops to put their water services in. So right now, they're searching. That stuff, the equipment they ordered in September, which was supposed to be on Christmas, has now been delayed to either first week of April or the last week of May, depending on which components they are. So they're 9 months out. So with no guarantee it's coming. So Tim Harrell, Chip's office, they've been working relentless trying to find components for this, for the water services. So if you get calls, give me a yell. Everything else is moving, the buildings are going, but they can't finish the curb in the streets until we get the water services in. So this is getting to be, we've been discussing this since basically December, and just nobody can get the equipment. Mueller, who provides everything, just isn't provided, or it's going somewhere else and we're not getting it. So.
Is that gonna be the same thing for Penrose out there?
Penrose having a problem, but they actually, out of Camelot, they ordered all their stuff last year. So they ordered way ahead of schedule.
Okay.
So, haven't confirmed it's on site, but I talked to the contractor 2 weeks ago to make sure he was okay. He said he was assured he was fine. So it had already been delivered to stockpile somewhere, so fortunately for that, so for those. Moving on to Park Avenue sanitary sewer pump station rehab, we have a pre-con here at Borough Hall on April 5th to get that fired up and get moving, get the contracts all signed off. Working with some mills and getting things ordered. Here again, it'll take some time to get some of those components with that work there. So once we get a more detailed construction schedule, we'll let everyone know, coordinate with the police department, things along those lines for those. South Main Street, you've probably seen some activity. South Jersey Gas is back to finish their containment wall. So they'll be working along South Main Street there. We're working last week, Thursday and Friday, to get a bypass manhole installed. So that was the work they're ongoing there. They'll be getting that set up to bypass, and you'll be seeing them with the crane that has basically a 100-foot boom that goes down 85 feet down into the ground to pour this concrete wall in. That'll be going right along Main Street, so you'll have a front row seat when that comes in. So that equipment's arriving in pieces accordingly. So that'll be getting put together in the next couple of weeks. They'll be starting to work on that one. And the ShopRite continues their rehab inside and starting to do some of the building additions outside for those. But I don't think they'll be getting to the items that will impact the parking lot and cars and the handicap parking until later this year. So, that's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Anything else for Mark? Thank you again, Mark. At this time, I will again turn the meeting over to our Borough Solicitor.
Thank you, Mayor. On our consent agenda this evening, we have the following resolutions. 101, resolution amending procurement card policy and procedures, changing procurement card company titles and monthly shared limits. The Borough of Glassboro, resolution 102, authorizing release of a performance bond in the amount of $425,235 and safety stabilization guarantee in the amount of $15,000 for Poplar Street residential building, also known as Nexus Properties. Resolution 103, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro authorizing adoption of cyber incident response plan. Resolution 104, resolution of the Borough of Glassboro authorizing adoption of master technology policy. Resolution 105, urging the swift passage of S330, which restores energy tax receipts. Resolution 106, authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Chosen Restoration, LLC. Resolution 107, resolution authorizing refund of street opening performance guarantee, Lou Pinto. They are our resolutions this evening under our consent agenda. For the purposes also noted on the agenda, if council so moves for approval, roll call please.
Motion for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Karen, roll call, please.
Mr. Costa?
Yes.
Mr. D'Alessandro?
Four.
Mr. Fiola?
Four.
Mr. Halter?
Yes.
Ms. Miller?
Yes.
Mrs. Benz?
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting up to the public.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. The floor is now open to anyone from the public who wishes to come up and address mayor and council.
Mayor, just say each student had to get up.
Is that a rule? But this would be the time, Counselor.
Seeing none, make a motion to close the public portion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve all duly authorized bills.
Move that all duly authorized bills be paid.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yeah, yes, Mayor, let the records reflect that I abstain on PO number 22-00909. Thank you.
Mayor, let the record reflect also that I abstain on 21-04987 and 22-01012.
Got that right?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you. Those abstentions are noted. Motion still carries. Any closing comments by our administrator? No? I would just like to welcome all the students here from Rowan. It's excited to see you all out here. You're more than welcome to come anytime. I know how exciting this is. I wish you all the best. And with that, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor state aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Anybody abstaining from this? Motion carries. This meeting is now adjourned. Have a nice evening, everyone. Next regular meeting will be April 12th, 2022, 6:30 p.m. Have a good night.